Hi, I'm Sandy Schrack for LBR Inspires, and today we're going to create a simple centerpiece that is impactful in its horizontal presence. We're going to use the power of stems and groupings to be able to give this design extra perceived value, giving each floral element space to show its beauty and to grow. So this is our centerpiece we're going to do, and we'll just take a look at getting that started. First, we're going to start with one of the design bowls that has an ample water supply. And so on Christmas greens, you want to make sure I have a half brick of foam, and I've cut off some of the top on that to eliminate some of that mechanics to be able to have to hide. Next thing we're going to do is start off with about 6 cattails. And I'm going to use Dixon pins, and this is a wood pick that bends in the middle, and you're able to easily add in elements. So we're going to do the cattails and then also add in the black bearded wheat, which is a great element to add in. So you can see with the size that we've created on this, and it has a really strong horizontal presence. The next thing we're going to do is start adding in some of our holiday greens. Using some of the longer pieces, I'm going to come in from the middle, nice deep insertion, and to be able to have it flare out. So rather than really take all those greens down really short, what I do is use longer pieces to improve my efficiency. You can see we're cutting that at an angle. We're going to start with some of those pieces like that and bring it down, and we'll be able to cover that over the top. Then I'm going to be placing some of these pieces so that they create a lot of depth and dimension in this design versus so flat. See, many times people are layering Christmas greens kind of one over the other, but really kind of more of a flat presence. So it makes you have to do more insertions, and insertions are money. Not only the item that you're putting into the container, but also the value of the labor. So if you can be more efficient with your insertions by leaving it on that main stem, and I am not going to green this all the way. So you can see that you can see quite a bit of foam through here, but we're going to be using some larger flowers that are going to be able to cover up some of that. Our next item we're going to bring in is just a little bit of the Agonist, and this is going to just come back and forth. And so you can see I've got a line going this way, a line going this way. Our point of convergence here is where our focal point's going to be, but we want to draw people's eyes back and forth, and so I'm going to add in 2 pieces of that out here and then have it stepping across the design. So our next element that we're adding in is going to be our primary focal, and this is one of the lembush grown lilies, and we're going to come in and bring that in, but give it space to mature. We're going to come in right into the area where that X is. I ran into my Agonist there, so I'm going to pull it out and go back in. So I not only want to think about the space that it takes now, and it's just a little bit high for that centerpiece. So I'm going to do it again and just come in into a new hole. So you can see that it came in, but not only the way that it looks right now, but I want to give enough space for this flower to open up, enough space for this flower to open up, so that you get that value out of those maturing flowers. Our next element we're going to come in with is going to be the next step down on that, which is going to be these two Fujis here, and the lighter color on these. Oh, I did it backwards. So what I'm going to do is bring them back here so that we keep this a little bit more open, so you're able to see that detail of the wheat and the cattails. And then the stems out the other side, so we're just going to bring that back. Add in a lotus pod that adds that dried element, just adding another textural element and bringing that round together. I'm going to come in front, and roses are something that add value in the mind of the consumer. So we're going to come in with those right in a nice focal area, and I know I'm going to get a lot of orange up here. So we'll bring those two in. You can see how that comes in nicely. And then bring some of the hypericum. There's another textural element. And it also is repetitious of kind of the seed pods that you see coming out of that lotus pod. So it feels a little bit like they're friends, like this is could mature into that. One of the next techniques that we're going to look at is using your palms efficiently. So as I'm going here, what I want to do is I'm going to take off some of these side shoots and then look up here what I could take out and use, and then that way I have a good insertion left. So that's going to be more of my focal. I'm going to come in with that there. Then these pieces, I'm just going to come in and lay them all together and just tear them up and down a little bit and do one cut. That way I'm being efficient with my insertions, and it also looks like another new grouping. And I can just come in with those and bring those in, and so now it looks, you can see that both of those insertions look like they're meant to go together. A couple different stems. So rather than it being quite so impactful, where it looks like a little bit more of a stop sign. So I got it there, and I'm going to come across. So we're going to bring it over in here so we see that color carrying back and forth. Here, so got 3 here that I'm gonna grab and put together, and then 3 here that I'm gonna come in right in here below my lily and just make that connection of those groupings coming together. So you can see it's really not a lot of stems to able to go be quite efficient. And lastly, we're going to go in with our solidago. This is another thing that I'm going to take a look at that stem and determine where's a good spot that I can cut it. So now I have 2 insertions off of that one stem. I have my top insertion, so that's going to come up more into like this area, and then this insertion with that cut tip, which actually goes away, but I'm going to bring it in and bring it facing down a little bit more. And you can see that cut tip goes away. This one's a little bit smaller, so we're going to just come in here and here, and I'm going to make a connection right over in here. So we've got another line that's kind of running through the design. So this is our simple centerpiece, and you can see how fabulous it would look. You had one running down here, and then put the next one down, and so you can have multiple on the table, and then each of the guests could bring one home. So really trying to get the most value out of the stems and the groupings that we can. So here's our finished designs, and you can see how well they work together. By being able to offer your customer multiple pieces, that way you can suggest that they could use one as a hostess gift that they could give some of their guests that attend their parties. So I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning some new techniques that you can use to create extra value for your customers. I'm Sandy Schreck, and if you want to learn more, you can subscribe to our playlist or make sure and hit the bell so that you get notified when we put things up on YouTube. Give us a comment. Let me know what you liked, what you'd like to see, and just if you enjoyed using this technique and how your customers liked it. I hope I inspired you to create some fabulous florals.